There's a type of strength most people never talk about. It's quieter than confidence, softer than discipline, and far more difficult to master than any habit or routine. It's the strength that comes from letting go of emotional clutter, of outdated stories, of reactions that drain you, and of attachments that quietly hold you hostage. Today, we explore the philosophy of becoming an emotional minimalist, a person who intentionally clears their inner world, not to feel less, but to feel better. To become someone who is calm, decisive, and difficult to manipulate. Most of us carry far more emotional weight than we realize. Not the kind that comes from major life events, but the thousands of tiny stressors that fill our mental space like dust. The sentence someone said last week that still irritates you. The argument you keep replaying. The resentment you hold on to because it feels like proof that you were wronged. The pressure to say yes when you want to say no. These aren't dramatic burdens, but they quietly shape every decision you make. And emotional minimalism begins with recognizing this. Your mind is a room, and right now, it's overcrowded. Emotional minimalists practice what I call the 3-second rule of internal peace. When a thought appears, you give yourself 3 seconds to decide whether it deserves to stay. If it doesn't help you grow, clarify something important, or maintain your stability, it goes. No bargaining, no emotional negotiations, no spiraling. You redirect your attention the way you'd close a window during a storm. This isn't avoidance. It's refinement. It's choosing what earns a seat at your internal table. And make no mistake, people notice when you become this way. When you stop reacting to every poke, every guilt trip, every passive-aggressive comment, something interesting happens. The people who used your emotions to steer you suddenly lose their map. The ones who fed off your over-explaining, your worry, your discomfort, they start to push harder, confused by your quiet. Emotional minimalism has a way of exposing intentions without confrontation. Because when you stop offering easy access to your inner world, people show you how much they relied on it. This is where silence becomes one of your strongest tools. Not the silence of giving up or the silence of suppressing your feelings, but the silence of someone who refuses to hand over control of their emotional state. You don't argue to win. You don't respond to every accusation. You don't explain your boundaries to people who already understand them. Your silence becomes a filter. Those who respect it stay, those who fear it reveal themselves. But the true power of emotional minimalism is this. The less you need from the world to stay grounded, the harder you become to break. Most emotional turmoil comes from dependency, needing validation, needing approval, needing someone to react a certain way so you can feel balanced. When you learn to center yourself with less, your peace stops depending on unpredictable external forces. You become someone who can handle uncertainty because your internal space is clear enough to think. You become someone who can walk away because you're not weighed down by emotional noise. You become someone who doesn't crumble under pressure because you've removed everything that weakens your foundation. Minimalism isn't about having nothing. It's about choosing what deserves space. Emotional minimalism works the same way. It's the practice of decluttering your inner world so you can finally see what's essential, your values, your boundaries, your instincts, your truth. When you stop hoarding emotional debris, you create room for clarity. When you stop trying to carry everyone else's feelings, you rediscover your own. When you let go of what doesn't matter, you make the things that do matter unshakable. You don't need to feel less. You don't need to be colder, harder, tougher. You simply need to carry less emotional weight, so the strength you already have can rise to the surface. That's what emotional minimalism is, a return to your unburdened self. A version of you that is calm, focused, and grounded not because life is easy, but because your mind is clear. Let go of what's unnecessary. Protect what's essential. And watch how quickly you become unbreakable.